Dzień dobry, dzień dobry.
Yo, what's up?
Okay. So we decided to, just stop for a coffee and enjoying our beautiful drive, right?
It was
So we
lovely.
were in Wrocław, and then now we just stopped in the Orland for the coffee break, right? It's
That's the
nice
thing,
weather
that's the
today.
thing.
So like normal thing that we're gonna do is about just a simple talk, because we are curious. We used to live in Bali, right, for 10 years, and then we used to have lots of Australian who watch us, but now today we've got one of our viewers.
Alex from Australia,
Australia, Melbourne, Australia.
thinking to move and live in Poland.
Yes.
This is actually pretty interesting, I'm gonna say. I'm not
Tak.
gonna lie, this is interesting.
Interesting.
Considering as we were not so long ago,
Yes,
2 years ago,
yes.
nearly selling our own both kidneys to move to Australia, and now the fella from Australia wanna move to Poland. So this is gonna
Tak,
be very
tak,
interesting.
tak.
And honestly, there's not too many people who personally I know who would like to move from Australia to Europe.
No.
Even majority of Australian originally ancestry is coming from Europe.
That's true.
That's
Yes.
true, right? Even you born already,
Yeah.
you're born in Australia.
You're born in Melbourne, Australia.
Yeah,
Yes.
so you are 100% Aussie, but your parents are
Polish.
Okay.
exactly. So that's why
So-
it's gonna be interesting.
And
Yeah.
grandparents are Polish,
Uh-huh.
and great grandparents are Polish, and my great grandfather served in the PW Army as well. So
So what do you think then? I mean, what's actually first spark your interest? In probably moving from Australia to Poland.
Poland, my biggest interest was to start a new life. I think I did my homework. 6 months to a year, just study, watch videos on YouTube, Google everything all the questions I could think of.
Maybe you can put like this.
Like
yes.
this, of course.
Make sure everybody
The first time. So,
don't be shy, don't be shy.
Yeah, it's okay.
I done my homework. I even talked to my friends about it, and I figured out I think I found peace and freedom and choices in Poznan. I think it's here, and not many Australians like me will go, oh yes, Poland. They will think more like go to Bali, go to Thailand. You do have some rare Aussies that might go to the Balkans, like maybe Bosnia, but
Why?
why? Cost of living, really.
Okay.
And the Australian dollar can, of course, buy you so much in the Balkans. I did see, because I do go on YouTube, and I see more Australians making videos moving to Thailand, and they may not come back. So I have noticed that the Western world is moving towards, Central East Europe. And some people call East Europe the new Europe, not so much East, because so much has changed over the decades. So I told my friends, they were in shock. They said, why are you doing this? It doesn't make sense. It's cold. My mom, she goes, it's freezing, it's cold. It's hot today.
No.
Today in Wrocław was extremely hot, actually, you
Almost
know?
like in Melbourne.
Almost like it felt like Melbourne, believe it or not, it felt like Melbourne. But that was the biggest thing. I think Poznan specifically, not Wrocław, not Gdansk, Warsaw, Krakow, Lublin, all the major top 10 cities. I think Poznan has what I want and has what I need. So in other sense, I think Poznan found me, I didn't find it. I think that's the best way I can put in words.
I see.
So yeah, I think that's why.
So was there a specific moment actually in your life, a reason that made you seriously, consider relocating to Poland? Maybe you can tell about what's actually happening in Australia, especially in Melbourne.
Exactly. So in Melbourne, I don't want to bash on Melbourne or be biased. I really want to speak for everyone that lives there.
Considering as we have acquired a lot of views from Melbourne, or used to have it.
Yes, used to have it.
Okay.
Yes,
But be
Perfect.
honest,
But I will be honest from my point of view. I do talk to people about this, and it's very similar stories because I'm in hostels. I'm meeting other people in the Western world. I meet people from France, Germany, England, so Western worlds, and they all pretty much said the same thing. It's just the present and the future does not look good for Melbourne. The 65-year-old Englishman I met, he said it before I said it. He goes, "Where you're from, Melbourne?" And he goes, "Oh, that ain't looking good." And I said, "You know, don't you?" He goes, "The whole world knows.
No.
Everyone knows. It's an island. It's in England, London, Germany, France, a little bit of Sweden, a little bit of Italy as well." And the more people I meet from the Western world, we look at each other and we just know. We can read our eyes, we can read our minds. The man I met that was 65 years old, he's relocating to Spain. And then I told him, well, I'm trying to relocate to Poznan. And he goes, I can see why. Poznan is beautiful, it's quiet. And so with Melbourne, it's I grew up in Melbourne as a child, as a teenager, in my 20s, and now I'm in my mid-30s. And it does not feel like home anymore. Melbourne City itself, it's getting dirtier, it's getting louder. It's the peace there is it's slipping away. You can't find it. You can go to the park in Melbourne, but it wasn't the same as a child. As a child, I used to love going to Melbourne. My mum would take me to like Ballerina or to the park.
Yeah.
You would want to go to Melbourne. But as a teenager, you saw the city collapse in peace. In how can I? What's that Crocodile Dundee guy?
Steve Irwin, no?
When he had that accident
No?
and he unfortunately he died, I felt like when he died, Australia went with him a little bit. Like a part of Australia went with him because he does have kids and they have grown up in Melbourne, but they're not liked so much from other people's opinions. And I have spoken to people in their mid-40s and they have actually moved away from Melbourne. They don't, not just my friends in their 40s, but even my friends in their 30s and younger, they want to move away, an hour drive, 2-hour drive from Melbourne, because they feel the energy, the vibe. They don't feel safe. They don't feel at peace. And for example, where I live, cars are getting broken into now. There's drug use that's really bad, and it's not just any drugs. It's just heavy drugs, and it's and my mother as well. She's an old lady now, and she wants to move away from Melbourne. So there's a lot of reasons. I can talk for a long time about this, but. It's not just what I think about Melbourne. People from England and London and Paris, they know what's happening in Melbourne. The people do know what's happening. And the media will not really talk about it. You really have to know someone from that city to really discover the secrets and the back door of what's actually happening in Melbourne.
I see.
So yeah, that's why the overview, yes, that's why.
I see.
Yeah, next I think the momentum is here, you know? You got me excited.
Okay. Wow. It's very interesting.
Pretty exciting actually.
Pretty
to hear
exciting, point of views, because we used to thinking like maybe we will move to Australia, but then we decided to move to Poland, right?
Because like if somebody don't watch us before, because we have also some new viewers.
No,
so I used to live like almost 10 years in Asia. We are together for 10 years.
No.
And 1 year ago we decided to move from Bali to Poland, but before that I used to be 3 times in Australia, as you know also, and recently I filmed even in Perth in Western Australia, and we really wanted to move to Australia actually. So yeah, so we find out.
But to be honest, we didn't have much money.
Well,
like you said, we almost sell kidney.
But then I was thinking, what else I gonna sell if I already sell my kidney,
Okay, so
I don't know.
50 grand, 50k a kidney,
I hope so it's healthy enough and they will pay me 50k.
right. So my next question is that how did your expectation of Poland compare to the reality once you arrive here?
Expectations, right. So I was in Poland about 15 years ago. Back then, my family were more together and we were communicating. And I went to a town called Łódź. Not Lutz, Łódź. People will always mispronounce it.
Yeah, it's a city like 50 kilometers from Warsaw, maybe.
Yes.
In the direction of Poznan, actually. Whenever you go from Poznan to Warsaw, you actually go through Łódź by the highway. All right, keep going, mate.
There we go. So as I think I was like 19, 20 years old, and even before then, I remember back in the 90s, I also went to Poland. But the memories back then was a bit rough. I think I remember as a child, 90s looked a bit grey,
Cold.
rusty, cold. It looked a bit, in Łódź, it looked bad. It really did.
Yes.
But when I came the second time as a late teenager, age of 20, it was getting rebuilt. I saw buildings, newer buildings. I saw a higher population. It still looked rough, but the town center looked nice. It looked new. People speak English as well.
Yes.
But as soon as you step outside that city square, it looked rough. I'm not going to lie. It didn't look very pleasant.
Yes.
And after 10, 15 years, like I said earlier, thinking about Poland, coming back to Poland, that I was talking to my mom, and because my mom was born in Poland, she grew up in the Soviet Union era, and it was rough. She has stories about it. It was very rough. And even my grandmother has even rough stories, like terrible stories.
Especially your grandmother.
Yes.
I believe that 100%.
Yes.
World War II, like
story.
yeah. She had even bullet wounds from World War II, and she was only 6 years old, and I think she got shot, or shrapnel, or whatever you want to call it. But coming back now after decades from being away from Poland, and I was learning about the market, geopolitics, money, and I looked at Poland, and I was realizing that Poland was gaining interest, momentum, more people were living there, more money, more companies. I think Swiss Credit came here. I think Facebook headquarters came here, Amazon. So I was doing my homework, and I was going, wow, so there's money coming to Poland.
Yes.
And I go on YouTube, and I see Ferraris, Lamborghinis, BMWs,
Yes.
great fashion,
Yes.
great style.
Our YouTube channel.
That's how I found these guys, the monkeys. I went YouTube, Poznan, and I found Damien and Winnie. And I showed my mom, and they go, "Oh my God, Damien speaks good English. Winnie, she's so cute with the coffees and croissants and stuff like that." So, and Mom and I will actually sit down and watch. I think we watched Zakopane. I think we watched the Czech Republic of Prague, and I realized it wasn't just your channel; it was other people that make videos as well.
Of course.
Yes.
And again, I'm observing. I'm looking not directly at the video, but I'm looking at the cars, the people that walk past.
Yes.
And I'm trying to look at dysfunctional people, ugly people. There's no ugly people here. They're gone, you know? They're well dressed. There's no obese people. There's no, like gigantic McDonald's people, American McDonald's, you know? Like it's in Australia, you know what I'm talking about. The people from Melbourne, you know what I'm saying.
Bogan, you mean?
Yeah, Bogans. Yes, the Bogans. They are
Yes.
sizable people sometimes. But my mum watched as well.
Yeah.
She did not believe this was Poznan. She could not believe this was Gdansk, Krakow. We watched all the videos. Everything looked new. She goes, these cars look nice. The buildings look... Everyone was so well dressed, we could not believe it. And that's why. That's why Poznan.
Yes.
And I think we went to Wrocław today, and I think Poznan is really well dressed. Like there's almost a competition or some kind of I don't know, like gang of fashion people, like just like who can dress better almost. But yeah, that's I could say about Poznan. I was so surprised when I got here. I was scared coming here because my mum was saying, be
Yes.
careful, Soviet
Yes.
Union, rough people.
Yes.
It's so safe. I came here, it was safer here than Melbourne. Straight
Uh-huh.
away. As soon as I walked on the streets, and my mum called me, oh, be careful. I told her, no, you be careful. Poznan safer. So that I was shocked by that.
That's very interesting. Poznan, Poland is safer than Melbourne, Australia.
Absolutely. And I
Wow.
speak to people about
Uh-huh.
this as well.
Uh-huh.
I do when I do meet people in public. I ask them, "Do you feel safe?"
You know?
100%.
I agree.
And this is
I do
the women that
strongly
speak.
agree.
The
Yes.
women say this.
Yes, I do really strongly agree.
As originally born in Poland, I feel somehow proud of it. What you
Yeah,
say?
yeah,
I don't know why, but it's like,
That's
but
true.
but don't get me wrong. It was you both guys. It wasn't like that all the time.
That's true.
It wasn't like that. It is now since the past 15 years. But in
Yeah.
the 90s, when your mom made remember, it wasn't
Yes.
like that. So everything changing. Australia, I believe, was a great place at that time.
The 90s was the last, I would say, the golden era for Australia. The 90s. It just felt right. Even as a child, I just remember how life was just by looking at people, the cars, the community, the sport.
Yes.
Even my friends say we have an AFL, Australian football,
Yes.
a sport. Even that's changed. It's not as fun. There's not much character. I feel people feel like AFL players can't be. They have to watch what they say now on TV. Back in the 90s, you could say whatever you want, but now there's like a filter. I don't know, corporate sponsors. I'm not too sure exactly, but. And my friends love AFL, and they have season tickets. They go every season. They've been going for 10, 15 years, and they said even Australian football is not that fun anymore.
I see.
So
Right. So that's very interesting. You know, like Poznan, especially Poland, is much safer than in Australia. Well, were there any cultural differences actually that surprise you or challenge you at first when you come here?
culture-wise, just because of my background and my history of my family, not so much, but I would say the new culture, the new youth, how can you say, pop culture, I guess you can say, that was a shock. Because it's not just the fashion, it's the colors.
Yes.
Everyone in Poznan wears pink and black. It's everywhere. There's so much color here. Oh
Sorry,
yeah.
mate. What winnie color you wear today?
My pink.
Pink and black.
Pink and black. Yes.
All right, keep going, mate.
Pink and black. That was probably the biggest culture. And pizza here, it's everywhere. And I think the pizza in Poznan is better than Italy. And that's coming from a Polish person that went to Italy, came back to Poznan and say, no, we have better pizza than Italians.
I did this also, and I can say that we were like 2 months ago in Italy, and I gonna agree with that.
Yes.
So it's true.
Yes.
It's
Yes,
true.
yes.
So that was a big culture shock. And I think in my head I was thinking like Jurek, kielbasa, pierogi. Yes, the sausages, the dumplings, it's here. But I was a little shocked that you see more like kebabs and pizza. I was a little bit surprised that it's here, but Polish people put a twist on it. And it tastes better. It tastes better where it comes from, maybe. But culture-wise, the music, more or less the same. People's behavior, I think more polite. I think it was more polite now than it was 10 or 15 years ago. I think people are just more happier now. I think people have better health, better clothes, better cars, and I think they're more relaxed and they actually can socialize better. The culture shock was, I think, the children, the little kids coming from school. You see kids running around and they are different from Australian children. They seem more outgoing. You see them around town a lot more than Australia. I saw kids walk around by themselves in Poznan. In Australia, this is considered a little dangerous. So when I saw a child, it was traffic hours, after work hours, and I looked at the child and I go, where's your mom and dad? And I realized, it's Poznan, it's safe.
Yes.
So you do see the culture shock. Yes, you see young kids by themselves, or a group, and they're just walking after school by themselves. So that was probably the biggest culture shock. Just little kids walking around by themselves. In Melbourne, you won't see this. In Sydney, I don't think you will see this.
Yes.
And if so, they're the bogan kids, you know, the troublemakers. But that was the biggest thing. The culture shock was how safe it was, really.
Yes.
So I could say, from your experience, it seems like Poland right now is as safe like Singapore, perhaps. Because in Singapore, kids walking around.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
Where else?
Estonia as well is like this.
Okay.
So Europe is safe in general.
Yes.
I mean, not everywhere, because in Germany or in France, not necessarily. But so Central East Europe, Central Europe basically, because you know, Lithuania, Estonia, it's considered central northeast, and then you go to Czech Republic, Slovakia, Hungary, it's actually Central Europe. So Central Europe is the place to be right now.
I believe so. I think so as well. I think also Switzerland and Slovenia and Croatia. I could be wrong, but I think also they're considered Central Europe now. And if you can Google this, you can see safety. It's like a safety map of Europe. If it was like a data point. Like if you go 10 years ago, Germany was safer, France was safer. Now 10 years later, it's the Baltic states. It's Poland, it's Slovakia, Czech Republic.
Yes.
It's shift. Europe has. I don't know if you want to call it the power, but something has shift. I think the peace has shift over.
I would like only notice also for you guys, because I don't know if you know that Poland is the only one country in Europe right now who never had a bomb attack due to the terrorist attacks at all.
Correct.
At all.
Zero. And that's a great fact to have. That's great. That how can I say? That's good promotion for Poland.
Yes. That's cool.
But I have a question: is Australia had any attacks?
Okay. So there was in Melbourne back in, I think the year was 2017, 16. I can't remember the exact year. But there was a car in Melbourne. I think who's ever from Melbourne watching this, you should know. There was like a guy off his face, and he was in the city centre of Melbourne.
I think I heard the story.
And he was running around. He did run over people. I think kids as well. I think like a mother with kids. People I think did die and get badly injured. I was in that city that day with my sister, and she just had a kid. Worst timing ever. But we were wondering why we're hearing sirens, and we were away from the danger, but we were shocked that was actually happening that same day. But once in a while you get bomb threats, but like prank calls. I've heard one or two of them at shopping centers. Terrorist attacks, I don't know personally. I don't think that we have like a terrorist attack, but we have scares, warnings. People do get a bit scared of it. Like, are we going to have a warning today? Is someone going to make a prank call today? Is someone going to get in the car and start driving around circles in the city? And after that accident, I think it was a lot long. Maybe it was 2014. I can't really remember. When that horrible day happened, Melbourne changed again. They start putting concrete blocks where the walkway is, so cars can't ram into pedestrians anymore. So even Melbourne looks uglier because of this concrete blocks, just to block safety from the public. So, and people try to graffiti them, try to make them look nice, but Melbourne is looking uglier by the decade. It looks bad.
Okay.
So many stuff behind. That's good.
That's very interesting, yeah?
Very interesting.
Yes. So
Actually, I don't know if I sound sarcastic, but it's actually very interesting. Really.
Yeah,
it is.
especially, you know, we really used to think about moving to Australia from Bali, and then we you know, I ask
Like
my
we-
parents to borrow money, and
And
nobody
I was
wants to
figuring
borrow money,
out
you
how
know.
I can borrow like 100k, really
No.
seriously, $100,000.
So it's not
Like
worth
if we
it,
can
yeah.
get like 10 people
No.
who gonna borrow us for 10,000 each, or
No.
with the dividends or
Yes.
everything, it's way more difficult than opening the business actually
Yes.
and finding the sponsor, I
Exactly.
mean sponsor, investor to
move and live in Australia.
let's say if you open the business and looking for investor, you can give them 20% of equity for the company and 20% of dividends paid yearly, and it will be easier than borrowing money to somebody trust you as you're gonna make your life living in Australia. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
Oh,
but that was true
wait,
story, right?
Wait, let's talk about the money then.
Yeah,
And
it's
how do you think
Money is
the cost,
always good topic.
Yeah.
Let's go.
how do
You
you
ready,
think,
mate?
I'm ready, baby.
so how do you think the cost of living and lifestyle in Poland compares in Australia? Cost of living.
Long story short, Poland for the win. Poland way better, so much better. But also in Australia, cost of living, the classic story, just up and up and up. Petrol it will always go up. It's okay now in Melbourne. I found it okay, but you can feel it. It's my friends, especially growing up as a teenager in my 20s and my 30s. We used to say a $50 bill would buy you so much. You felt like you had freedom with a $100 bill.
No.
But now when I just go shopping in the local Coles or Woolworths, $100 buys you one bag.
Yeah.
Just one bag, really. In Poland, it's gonna buy you a shopping cart.
Yes.
It will buy you genuinely a cart. I was shocked when I was buying all the food I can just I got so excited. I just kept
Yeah.
buying food. I go, I didn't spend any money. Like I still have some. This is fantastic. Car registration. If you want to have a car, I keep my receipts. I'm a car guy. I like car stuff, so I collect receipts of registering my car. It goes up like $20, $30 every single year. I think when I first drove my car, it was like $600 a year to register. Now you're pushing $900. So
Just interesting thing. I just think it's worth to mention. You also have one of the most expensive passports to renew it.
I think that's also true. Because I was so excited about coming to Poland and I'm
Yes.
going through the process of my Polish passport, I bought express Aussie passport, so I paid double. So I really paid, I think $600 or something. For I think 600. I think
$600
300, 600. I can't remember, but I remember paying extra. But it took like 2 days, 3 days. I wanted to be so ready for Poland. I was like, no, I want my passport now. But cost of living, I think will get worse. I think the competition for houses, and I had to learn this because no one taught me this.
Yes.
Because I said to myself, look, I may want a wife one day. I may want kids one day. Can I afford this in Australia? Hell no. Hell no. I can't buy a house. I can maybe get a new car. The housing market in Australia, and everyone knows this, even from people from England, from France, everyone knows this, how bad it is and how I think it's even manipulated and rigged. It's just how where building materials come from, how the government wants to build land or have a program involved. It's just all poorly built together. It's just a hot mess. And of course we have a lot of immigration coming in. And yes, even for myself, I want to move out. I want to buy a house. I need to find my own house too. And I looked around in Melbourne in Australia, and I go, okay, Melbourne, Australia, Poland, Poznan. I choose Poznan. If I could say it very easily, if there was a Poznan-like city in Melbourne, I would have moved there. But there isn't. There's no Poznan ecosystem of a city in Australia. So I found this perfect city that is located in Poland, and it's like the stars aligned. Like it was perfection. Like awesome. I can get my Polish passport. I know a little bit of Polish. I got a little about Polish history. So the cost of living is just a no-brainer. And I do have a friend of mine. They both the married couple. He's got a very good job. She's got a very good job, and they just got the house. So in the good old days, the man would work. The wife would stay at home, take care of the house and the kids. Now it's the man has to work. Now the woman needs a part-time job, and now it's okay. Now the husband must work, the wife must work, and now if they want a family, they may not able to even afford a family. So cost of living is hurting, I think, future families. And restrictions of freedom. Like you can't just casually buy a house. You can't just casually have a kid anymore. So cost of living is it's hurting future Australians for sure.
So in short, that Australian cannot buy a house in Australia, something like that.
Especially my generation gap, and people younger than me. Good luck.
Okay.
Like good luck really.
Yes.
It will become how I say you have to inherit the house, and I think it's like this in the Netherlands or in Holland. I think it's so expensive. You have to be you have to inherit it. So and I think like Switzerland as well. It's very expensive.
I see. That's very interesting. So, what do you love most about living in Poland that you didn't expect as Australian here?
I was surprised about dogs. The love of dogs. People have dogs everywhere. They
Do bisanya, Fanny.
dogs are taken to shopping centers, cafes, and dogs are well behaved. Dogs here actually look happier, more socialized.
No.
And I'm a dog person, and it's just adorable just to see dogs everywhere. That was one of the things I loved the most. The other thing, it was also music. People love listening to music, dancing in the town square, and the type of music as well. It's like metal. It's like Rammstein, Queen of the Stone Age. The hostel I go to, the cars that drive by with the music pounding through the windows. It's just rock and roll music.
Sometimes disco polo.
It's nice music, but it's pop music as well. But the music was great. The dogs are fantastic here. And what else did I love? And the color, the buildings. I was really surprised how colorful the buildings were. And I think that because Poland is known to be grey and cold, and I think that really helps trick the brain to go, oh, there's flavor here, there's pink, there's yellow, there's something to look at. And it's not just me, but people like this as well. And the cars, Lamborghinis, Ferraris, Porsches, BMWs. Oh,
That's true.
They sound beautiful too. You hear the Lambo exhaust. The kids love it here. I love it. Of course, the quality of the food. It's not just good tasting food, but the quality of the food is amazing. If you get cheese, it's not plastic cheese. It's really nice cheese. Same with the meats and the breads. That's what I love as well. And most of all, I love meeting Polish people now. Really try to meet them, talk to them, and more Polish people speak English. So it's easier to actually come here if you only know English. It's, I would say, a 50-50 chance if you approach someone random and you're trying to ask questions. There's a good chance they will speak English. So that was something I really liked as well.
Yeah, but like based on my my experience, like the older generation never been travel or only speak little English, but they are willing to talk to you, being friendly, it's just simply easier. So actually, what are some unique opportunities that you have found in Poland that you wouldn't have back home? Because I heard that he went some of the places and tried to applying job somewhere and something like that.
In that area, oh boy, let me think. What was the question again?
So, what are the unique opportunities that you found in Poland that you wouldn't have back home in Australia?
The biggest opportunity, the unique opportunity. That is actually a tough question. I didn't think so far ahead, but the back of my thoughts is, what if I do meet the love of my life? What if I'm not going to chase it, but if I do meet that woman, it would be nice to have a family. Not to force it, but if it happens naturally, I know that opportunity that can happen in Poland. I just know it can happen for me here. But in Australia, let's say if I do meet the love of my life, I can't afford a wedding ring. Like, there's no way in hell. I can't even rent. It's that badly in Australia. So that having that unique opportunity, is having a family. But also another unique opportunity is I love ice hockey with such a strong passion that it's easier here. There's more ice rinks here. There's an ice hockey league here. And they actually have like imports from Finland, Sweden. Some come from Canada and some come from America. And they're in Poland playing professionally.
Wow.
And
didn't know that.
having a job also is a higher chance for me to have a job at the ice rink rather than Australia. So the uniqueness there is those two. Potential family and ice hockey. Not so much of cars or clothes or job opportunities, but those two things I like to be prepared for and be ready for.
So it means that you are single and you are looking for future wife. For
Yeah.
those single ladies, when you watch my video, our video, you can comment, we can connect you. Okay. Oh, very highly recommend. Bardzo polecam. Okay, so how has your...
Okay. Question: do you feel cold?
No?
No.
No? We can... Okay. Next. Right. Very interesting. So, how has your identity as an Australian influenced your experience of, integrating into Polish society?
That would be, I feel like that would be very easy for me. Because I really want to fit in. I already try to be, I'm trying to speak Polish with the best knowledge I've got. I'm trying to fit in I feel like I'm undercover. And when people find out I'm from Australia, they're like, oh my God, you're from Australia, kangaroo. It's like
eat kangaroo
man.
meat?
I'm like, I know, and I eat kangaroo too. And their minds blow up. Like, what, you eat kangaroo? But for me to, like, for example, if I was maybe like a pure Australian, like family was English, Irish, generations, but there isn't. So for me to move to Poland, I think it'd be so easy to do so. And people are already mistaking me for being Polish, just the way I look and I dress. I have kids coming up to me saying, "Oh, you got a nice mustache," and I go, "Whoa!" Kids are coming up to me like, "Okay, hello." I got people asking me for the time. People just assume that I'm already Polish, and I really like that. But then they catch me off guard, and I go, "Oh, my Polish, and they pick up on my accents, and I get caught out a little bit. But I like the idea of being Polish. I like the flag. If I were to move here, I would feel more Polish than Australian in the long term very easily. If I lived here for 5 years, I would feel more Polish than, like, put it this way, let's say a war happened and Australia came up to me and goes, "Oh, here's a gun, go shoot." I'll be like, no. But if Poland goes, "Look, war's here, here's a gun, shoot." I'm like, yep, okay, sure. That's how I would feel. Like, if I had to give you a level of how I would feel about being Polish. So I would, I would fight for Poland if the worst thing ever happened.
Wow, very interesting. So,
Yeah, say go.
But actually, I just came. I'm still here. Anyways, technically, if your mom and dad is Polish, so you have a Polish blood, mate.
I do.
You've born in Australia, you grow up in Australia, but your blood is Polish.
It's very Polish. As Polish as can be.
That's the thing.
okay, talking about that, you've got a sense of. So, do you feel a strong sense of community in Poland, and how did you build that?
The community in Poland. When I did come here first, I've been here for 3 weeks now, and I've got like 2 months to go. as soon as I walked out, you do see groups of people, like music fans, people that love metal or rock and roll. You see them hang out together. You see more teenagers, rowdy teenagers hanging out more often, I would say. You see grandmothers, babchas, they're together drinking herbata, tea, coffee, ponchka, donuts. So community-wise, I think, no, there is more community. There's more family, how I can say that, there's more family things going on here.
Yes.
Like especially every Sunday, you just see babies, kids, mum, dad together. They're at the parks on a sunny day. They're at the town square. They like to dance together. They like to spend time together. In Australia, you go to Melbourne, you won't see this. You won't see families going to Melbourne, spending time together, playing music, having a barbecue together at the park. Maybe at the suburbia park you will see this, but when you come to Poland, you see strong family community. You really see strong. Like for example, even people that work together at the hostel, there was some builders happening across the street, some a new company, a new shop being built. You see the workers like, what's happening over there? It's like they know the street so well, they want to know what's happening. So everyone wants to kind of know what's going on. And not in a spying way, as in like, are you good? Are you safe? Like, right, we don't want trouble here. The community is so strong that you can see it because there's no violence here. There's peace and harmony here. You can hear it, you can feel it, you can see it. And I think that's community based. It's so strong. So yeah,
I agree. I agree. Okay, so what advice would you give to, let's say, other Australians thinking about making to move to Poland? Because we've got also some of the, our viewers, I can say that they are Polish blood, like they're born, they grow up in Australia, the same like you, and maybe thinking to go back living to Poland, or maybe some other Australian, even that they are not Polish blood, but thinking to relocate to some other countries in Europe. So what advice would you give?
I like that question because I do talk about this with my friends, especially when I was coming to Poland for a little while. I did say to my friends, like, maybe would you go to Mexico? Would you maybe go to Romania? Would you maybe go to the Baltics? And I do say this to my friends because I do want the best for them as well. Like, your money is so much stronger elsewhere. You can enjoy it. You can eat better. You can dress better. You can drive a better car. For Australia, it's kind of similar with America. If you go up to an average Australian, they may not know where they exactly are on planet Earth. So if you go up to them and say, well, where's Romania? They may not know. Or if they go, if you say Estonia, it's a bit of a tough one. They may not know. So for the average Australian to think to actually get out, I don't think they think about this. And I think there's a little bit of a mental prison that they have because Australia was so far away. Our next door neighbors are New Zealand.
Yes.
And maybe, we have Bali, we have Indonesia up top, but that's about it. That's where Australians can really afford to go to, really. Or for a quick trip.
Yes, true.
I do talk about my friends and they don't seem interested because I think they're cozy at home, or they really love the Australian lifestyle, like the four-wheel driving, the camping. Australia is perfect for that. And one of my best friends, the best, he's helped me out so much in life. He loves motorcycles. Again, Australia's perfect for motorcycles. He loves camping, four-wheel driving. Again, Australia's perfect for that. And I did tell him, would you move? He maybe said Iceland or something like that. I can't remember what he said exactly. He did think about buying even property overseas. But he loves Australia, old school Australia, that Australian lifestyle that he just wants to live in the country and get away from the hectic behavior that Melbourne has. He's a very simple man. He does want peace. He doesn't really like people. He's an introvert. And he likes the idea of moving away from Australia, but he is a classic Aussie man, and if you met him, you would agree as well. So yes, I would recommend Poland, but for the average Australian, again, they think it's cold and grey. An Australian lifestyle is so sunny, blue skies, the surfing, the beach. It is lovely to have, and I think to take that away from the average Australian, I don't think they would like it. So I know Poland can't compete with the summer, the beach as well, and Aussie people like this.
No.
They really do.
Yes.
So it's a tough one, really, for an Australian to ask. And I know some people, Aussie people on YouTube, they do go to Italy, they do go to Africa. I can see them online. They do document their experience, but I think it's so few of them. So, from my point of view, I guess.
Wow, very interesting actually. Right, so that's it Kohanye.
You know more questions?
No more, I have no more question.
That's a wrap. That's a wrap.
Okay.
Right.
Like, interaction, right? Like and subscribe to the monkeys. The monkeys, right? Comment, all of that. Instagram. That's it. Instagram, YouTube. There's more?
Well, I already ran out of my question. All of my question already answered by Alex. And then I do really thank you for your time.
It was great fun.
Yes, and one thing, thank you so much for sharing about your thoughts about everything, regarding to, the ideas of moving out from Australia and live in Poland. It's very surprising, really surprising, because Damian and I, were really thinking to move out from Bali and live in Australia, and literally we would like to sell our kidney because we need lots of money for visa, looking for the housing there in Australia, because we think that living in Bali is not really worth it, like but I know that because Bali, Indonesia is my homeland. But yes, we're thinking about a better future, and then we decided to live in Poland. But that's really good, like sharing ideas that how it's happening in Australia, and decided to move and live in Poland.
Especially in person.
Yes.
But actually, after I listen all of this, and I wouldn't mind to have a 4x4 and driving somewhere on the coast of Australia. I cannot surf and swim. However, I believe the lifestyle for the average Australian, the sun, the this one
It
is
is nice.
This is something what it's really really amazing. I experienced that, and I know it's nice, but I know also as same like we discussed with Winnie, right?
Yes.
As just the sun and just the blue sky is not enough in life, and the nice weather like hot is just not enough. Sometimes you need something else, right?
Exactly.
Exactly. All right.
I think that's all. Okay.
Because I just playing.
Okay. So I think that's all our like a sharing and caring, because we are the monkeys. We like to share because we are caring to you guys. So our sharing talk, and thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks for
and
watching.
see you next time. And let's see and how is Alex later on going in the few years, probably here in Poland.
Absolutely.
Maybe if you new in our channel watching, and then if you are foreigners living in Poznan, Poland, and would you like to share about your thoughts about moving and also living in Poznan, Poland, or in other cities in Poland like us, you can contact us. Maybe we can have another podcast, and we can have a small community for that. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Bye.